The recording has started.
Okay. So, sorry about that. Again, this is Phil from Wisconsin. Thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves. And for tonight's post-conference call, we've got some information we think you're really going to like. Before we get started, I just suggest everybody get pen and paper out and take notes, because we're going to hear from two great leaders in this industry. Dr. Jerry Shaw is in our Sizzle organization. He's got a background in network marketing where he's had thousands and thousands of people in his organizations and internationally, and is very, very qualified to assess and talk about our company tonight. Bill DeFalco is my personal upline, is in the New York area, has done very, very well in this company. He's got a technical background, being a technician with General Electric, and had him traveling around the world before he got into network marketing, and had a personal life-changing result with this company and product line, which he probably will get into tonight. So I'm very excited, and I'm very excited you're all here to hear the information tonight. Get ready, get your pen ready, and I turn it over to Bill. Bill, over to you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Phil. Can you hear me?
I certainly can.
All right, good. Thank you for the sound check. Okay, well, welcome everyone to this very special webinar, our post-Sizzle Masters Convention webinar. In fact, I just returned from the webinar. It was just this past Friday and Saturday. What a tremendous event, and one of the most exciting Sizzle events I've been to in the 10 years I've been with this company. This event was just another chapter, folks, in the Mower mission, which has been going on for over 30 years now. It's a mission of educating, informing, and empowering millions of people from all over the world. The brainchild and the founder of Sizzle International is none other than himself, Tom Mower. He's a PhD, double PhD biochemist. He's the founder and chief scientific officer of Sizzle International. And our company is actually spelled SISEL, and those letters are an acronym for science, innovation, success, energy, and longevity. Sizzle operates out of their home base is in Springfield, Utah, and they operate out of the most advanced manufacturing facility of its kind in the world in a $35 billion industry. And yet, as big as we are, and into our 13th year now, Sizzle has a commitment to a family vision. And our goal is to help people from all walks of life to improve their health and also to accumulate wealth through the sensational business opportunity we have for anyone to become an independent manufacturing representative for this truly awesome company. Here's where Sizzle is standing today. We have experienced management. We own our own state-of-the-art production facility. We have worldwide presence in over 32 countries and growing. We're a totally debt-free company. We have new branding and positioning. We have amazing new products in addition to a sensational line of products. And we're experiencing unprecedented growth that's just really starting to take off right now. So if you're looking for an opportunity, this truly is the best time to get on board with this company's in a breakout point where we're going to experience tremendous growth over the next 10 to 15 years. The convention itself was truly a very enlightening and inspiring experience. The keynote speaker was Tom Mower Jr.'s son, Tom Jr., and also Tom Mower's grandson, Tom Jr. Tom Mower Jr. there center stage, and his son off to the right. I have to tell you, these are two of the greatest speakers I've ever had the pleasure to listen to. They made the whole convention just such a pleasure, so informative, so worthwhile. And if you have an opportunity to hear either one of these two gentlemen speak, please, whatever you do, you don't want to pass that up. And very surprising, over 98% of the people in attendance at this convention out by Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, were Amish people. Could you imagine? Amish people. These are the last people you think you'd find in an MLM company. What do they know about Sizzle International that a lot of people out there don't know? Well, they know an opportunity when they see it. They know a genuine, real company when they see it. And that's why they're coming to this company in throngs. And here you see a picture of this one elderly Amish woman who was being recognized for sponsoring 28 people. The others on stage sponsored a minimum of 8 and up to as much as 14 and 15 people. Very inspiring for all of us, for sure. At the convention, the exciting point of the convention was right at the beginning when they unveiled a secret new product, a hot new product, was revealed at the convention, the Sizzle Steak CBD oil, and we're going to be focusing on this exciting new product. And at this point, I'd like to bring on keynote speaker, Dr. Jerry Shaw. But before I do that, I just want to read you the disclaimer that Sizzle's products are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases or illnesses. Always consult a doctor or other healthcare professional if you feel sick or if you have any health issues or concerns. And with that, Dr. Jerry Shaw, are you on the line? *6, and you'll be right with us. Or if you're on the computer, just click on the microphone icon. Standing by for Dr. Jerry Shaw.
All right, I'm here.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for being able to make it to the call tonight. And at this point, I'm going to turn the webinar over to you, Dr. Shaw, and let you go through the slides about the exciting cannabis product. And no doubt in my mind, you know a lot more about cannabis than I do. You have such an extensive background. So what a more perfect person to take the lead point in the webinar at this point. So Dr. Shaw, the floor is yours right now.
Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate the introduction and the groundwork, because we truly do have an unparalleled opportunity with Sizzle International. And the fact that they are the ones bringing the CBD product to the marketplace, and you made a comment the other day on the phone, Bill, to me that you were glad you waited. Well, I'm here in Colorado, and this is like out here, it's kind of like the Wild West. And that's where CBD and the cannabis plant became more, accepted in terms of the legal system. And so it's become the Wild West in terms of access. And what that has brought to the marketplace is such a wide spectrum of quality that it's hard to find something that actually is something that you want to put in your body, because people realize something phenomenal is about to happen. The CBD marketplace is going to be staggering in its proportion. I was on the phone today with someone that made the comment that, don't you think that they've missed it? Don't you think they've missed the opportunity? Absolutely not. It's just beginning. There's just a toehold. To give you just an idea, a year ago on PubMed, there was 1,576 published studies. Right now, there's 6,348, and the research community is on fire with it right now, because they're realizing how effective, how much merit that this product actually has. That's why it was important for Sizzle to bring it and study for the past 2 years, bringing the right product. Just like Tom Mower Jr. has said, he doesn't have to be the first to market, but he will be the best to market. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the slides here. This brief history of cannabis. I tell you what, that's a very brief history, because it goes back at least 10,000 years in history. 5,000 years in Chinese medicine, but they've actually uncovered graves in Central Asia and Kazakhstan and India and in China, where they've discovered hemp used in villages and in medicine and in various modalities. They've discovered it as far back as 10,000 years ago. So the history for hemp is very rich indeed, and for a good reason. It's an amazing plant. Now, why is it reemerging now? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let's go to the next slide. You see, up until the late 1930s, cannabis-based medications, oils, tinctures, and preparations were routinely used by American doctors and physicians, actually worldwide. In fact, in 1906, Eli Lilly marketed his CBD from hemp, and dozens of other purveyors, dozens of other pharmacological companies marketed CBD products back in the early 1900s because of its efficacy. They understood that. However, what happened, because of the potential for hemp, was absolutely huge. In fact, many industries could have been threatened by hemp production, including, we'll go to the next slide here. Next slide. An act was passed. You see the unfortunate passage of the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937. That all kind of kicked it off. In the United Nations Single Convention treaties of 1961 and 71, cannabis, including hemp, became prohibited throughout much of the world. and formerly a part of the U.S. pharmacopoeia, cannabis was sadly withdrawn as an accepted medicine. And you kind of have to wonder how that could happen. Well, one of the things that happened was industry began to kind of subvert it because they didn't want the competition. Because you can produce things like textiles, like clothing and things like this, much more easily with hemp using less chemicals. It's much more efficient, so it would threaten the cotton industry. You can create building materials that are superior to the building materials from wood that actually are easier on the environment. You can actually create fuel from hemp. That it's been postulated that if only 6% of the agricultural land that's currently under cultivation was dedicated to hemp production, we could totally eliminate fossil fuel. And not to mention the pharmaceutical industry that happened toward the first part of last century, they decided to go with allopathic medicines, meaning finding things that were not necessarily food-based, but things that you could actually create isolates of, and you could thereby patent, because you can't patent a food. So you can make more money if you can isolate an ingredient in a food, and so certainly the pharmacy industry put pressure on subverting hemp. All of these years that we could have been benefiting from this tremendous product, and now here we are. And I'm going to go back to the slide. This CBD nutraceuticals hit the market in mid-2012. European hemp crops grown from 2007 to 2011. Each year, gradually higher concentrations of CBD. This is in contrast to back in the 50s and 60s, what was happening illegally. And the big question people have is, what's the relationship to marijuana? Cannabis is the overall, that's the plant, and we've got a slide coming up here that I think demonstrates that. But it's two distinctly different varieties. And the people in the psychoactive part, the people that were wanting marijuana, that division of cannabis, they were actually taking that plant that had kind of balanced actually THC, which is the psychoactive molecule, kind of balanced with CBD, which is the beneficial molecule that we're talking about tonight. But through breeding, they were able to create stronger and stronger THC. Well, that's marijuana. Hemp is actually entirely different. It's an entirely different strain of the cannabis plant. It has very low THC. THC is a cannabinoid, just like CBD. CBD, cannabidiol, which is the scientific name, CBD, the abbreviation, CBD is one of the many cannabinoids in the hemp plant. In fact, it keeps going up. They keep discovering, they thought there was 80. Now they're believing they've found 100 different cannabinoids in the hemp plant. And it's being speculated that they believe before the research is over, there could be as many as 150 different cannabinoids in the hemp plant. Now, the only one that's psychoactive is the THC. Well, THC is minimal in the hemp plant. However, it's necessary in a very trace amount to work synergistically with all of the other cannabinoids in the plant that help it to be effective. Now, isn't that interesting? Here we have allopathic medicine trying to extract, and currently, believe you me, they're trying to extract and isolate CBD so they can patent it, so they can make even more money on it, but they don't understand that's not how the body works. The body works and does better with all of the synergies found within nature. And that's the beauty, Tom Mower Sr., Tom Mower Jr., the beauty of Sizzle International is they understand how the body works. They're very innovative. They're very sophisticated scientists. So they knew that it had to be full spectrum hemp. That means all of the cannabinoids. That means it's going to include all of the other ingredients. We'll get back to the slides Sorry if I keep deviating, but this is such a huge subject, and it's such an exciting subject that I know that any company that jumps into this with quality, and I mentioned out here, it's like the Wild West out here, everybody's wanting to jump on the bandwagon, but they're not after quality. They just want to be first. It's the opposite of Tom Mower Sr. Not necessarily wanting to be first, but wanting to make the best in whatever he does. I'm going to go quickly over this slide. World Health Organization seeks to remove cannabis from the United Nations Single Convention Treaty on Narcotics. In the world view on this, they understand because research is taking off like a skyrocket. So many different conditions. We'll get into that later. So they're removing it from any illegality all around the world. So obviously, now it's totally legal through the United States, with some possible gray area in 3 different states because it's under, they've stepped in and wanted to control it statewide. But it's only a matter of time that the massive mountain of research is just going to allow this natural product, this product that has been beneficial for 10,000 years. There's only a matter of time that it's going to be recognized that it's in our own pharmacopoeia, because it's a food. It's actually a food, and it's actually something, and more on that later, that our body recognizes. We've got an internal system that recognizes it. So it's important to us to realize this is not a foreign substance. It's amazing that once you study this. Congress removed hemp and its derivatives, including CBD, from the Controlled Substances Act, meaning it is no longer a violation of the Controlled Substances Act to possess hemp products or CBD derived from hemp. We are on the cusp of a wild, new, old cash crop. This truly, even back to George Washington's time, people grew hemp and ate it. It was regarded as a necessity in people's lives because they knew its health benefits inherently. Innately, they knew that. And in fact, it became very good as livestock feed. And so what happened was, not only people ate it, but livestock ate it, and we ate their meat. So we had sufficient supplies of cannabinoids in our bodies, helping us maintain our health. Because one thing that Bill put up front a disclaimer: no claims, no cures, these kinds of things. We have to say that, but the beauty of it is, cannabinoids have been shown to help our bodies maintain homeostasis, meaning it helps our bodies to be well, to be healthy, to be strong. So you don't have to make medical claims. I can go down the list of the different published studies that have been involved in the CBD. I mentioned 6,348 currently. I mean, there are lots on pain, lots on anxiety, cancer, nausea, seizures, cognitive function, diabetes, leaky gut, inflammation. It's huge that it's the anti-inflammatory effect. In fact, it drives up antioxidant pathways. It drives up glutathione and SOD production. It drives down inflammation. So you can imagine inflammation. You've heard it. It's the source of so many diseases. You think about it. You think about heart disease. That's the cardiovascular system is an inflammatory process that eventually leads to heart disease. You think of you think of arthritis. What's happening? The joints are becoming inflamed, leading to the diagnoses of arthritis. You talk about colitis. You talk about autoimmune diseases. You can source these things back to inflammation. And so many studies with CBD are related to anti-inflammation. So you begin to imagine not only some of those other things I said, imagine all the opioids being prescribed for pain and all of the antidepressant medications being prescribed for numerous mental conditions. You can imagine how the pharmaceutical industry didn't even want this to happen. But it's happening because it is a food, it's being recognized, the amount of worldwide recognition and actually research revealing that is actually allowing this to happen. And it was a good move that Sizzle stepped in and made this part of their offering, because this is a necessary, I believe, to be a necessary part of such a strong company like Sizzle. And it takes a strong company like Sizzle, a company that can afford to make the best, to do it the right way. And thank goodness that we have Sizzle doing it, and we're already a member of this company, because now we have a company with a track record, a company who has a record of producing the highest quality products that can be trusted because of their efficacy. And now we have CBD, which is just the beginning. It's been said that it will be bigger than the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, movies and TV all added up together. And that's why everybody wants to jump in, and they don't care about the quality. Not Sizzle. They care absolutely about the quality. This slide says at least 80 cannabinoids, possibly up to 100. That's current scientific, but they're speculating because of most recent research that it could be as many as 150 different cannabinoids in hemp. There are nearly 400 other chemical compounds that include terpenoids, flavonoids, plant waxes, plant sterols, vitamins, minerals, all kinds of ingredients that work synergistically with the cannabinoids. And that's so important that it has a scientific name now regarding CBDs. It's called the entourage effect. And it's becoming known that it's better to have the entourage effect of the entire plant. That's why we have the entire plant. It's better to have that than to have an isolate. And you find people out there still, and a lot of the cheaper CBDs, they're isolating things, and when you test them, they have toxins, they have ethanol, they have other solvents, they have even contaminants like E. coli. There's no standards, there's no good quality control in the marketplace out here. But that's why it's so important that Sizzle launched this product with a superior product with high quality control that we can trust. It's so great. The ECS, the endocannabinoid system, is mentioned here. The ECS includes cell receptor sites CB1 and CB2 found throughout the body, in the skin, gastrointestinal, reproductive, immune, and central peripheral nervous system. The CB1 primarily in the brain, primarily in the nervous system. It's amazing that it actually it's internal. In fact, the only receptors found inside the brain for something outside our body is for a cannabinoid. Can you believe that? We think it's from the CBD plant. But inside our brains, our bodies were made to have cannabinoid receptors. Meaning that shows you how important it is for our bodies to have these substances. And actually, we are all deficient in cannabinoids because it has been restricted from our use for the past 60, 70 years. So finally, we have access to something that our bodies have been starving for, because CBD actually upregulates these receptors that are in the endogenous, in the CB1 and the CB2 receptors. They actually upregulate them. So there's one in the CB1. There's one called I think it's in here, anandamide. In the 2-AG, the anandamide is the one that is responsible for the runner's high. I don't think I was ever able to quite get that far with running, but where you get to that place where you can just keep running forever. So people that run marathons are very familiar with the runner's high, where you hit the wall, you hit the wall, you hit the wall, and then you go past the wall, and you're like, wow, I can run forever. That's where you're getting that anandamide kicking in. It's also known as the bliss molecule. And it's so important to have that, and we have little of it. because we are deficient. And the CBD helps to upregulate these internal cannabinoids that our body needs and depends upon. And the 2-AG, in that one, there's a molecule, a part of the 2-AG that's considered the motivation molecule. In fact, those particular compounds for 2-AG are found in mother's milk. So it causes the organism to thrive. It's like a motivation. It's like a deep-seated internal motivation to live. And so if we're deficient in that, what happens? Depression, anxiety, fear, I can't go on, because there's no motivation, because we're deficient. So I'm going to go on with the slides. The major endogenous cannabinoids are anandamide and 2-AG. Endogenous cannabinoids are quickly degraded by normal human enzymatic activity, and actually we're quite deficient in them. Plant-based cannabinoids are not as quickly degraded. Homeostasis is easier for the body to maintain by supplementing cannabinoids like CBD. Important word, homeostasis. That's the balance of all things. I'm going to get into balance of something very important that we've lost the balance of. It's the balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. And cannabinoids work directly with that. They help to balance those systems. It's more important for us to have the parasympathetic system upregulated and the sympathetic, which is our flight or fright, anxiety, all of that, which is these days, gosh, you watch the news and your sympathetic nervous system goes through the roof. That's the anxiety. That's I'm in fear, worry. Whether we're in constantly under pressure, financial, or we don't handle it well these days. So we feel like we're constantly upregulating internally. We're upregulating that sympathetic flight, fight, fright. And what happens is it internally, we downregulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which controls heart rate, which controls blood pressure. It keeps the heart rate, at a good rhythm instead of going too high. Keeps blood pressure at a normal resting rate. It causes your digestive system to secrete the right enzymes. It causes your hormones to be secreted properly. And the parasympathetic system is so important to health and homeostasis, the balance of all things. DVDs work directly on helping to balance that. So that's why it's so important that we have these. The CBD1 neurotransmitter receptor site in the brain has more receptor sites than all of the other neurotransmitter sites combined. Can you believe that? There's an endocannabinoid system. If you ask your medical doctor about the endocannabinoid system, 7 times out of 10, they're not going to know what you're talking about because they weren't trained on that. And yet it's really the most important internal system, tying all of the other systems, kind of acting like a conductor of a symphony, kind of helping balance it, getting everything working together. And most doctors don't even know what you're talking about because it was written out of the script. It was written out of the training, out of the education, because nobody wanted to mention cannabis. It's crazy. Thus, our bodies are designed to accept plant-based cannabinoids. In fact, these are the foods of our biological adaptation. That's why our ancestors all ate it. Our ancestors knew this inherently, innately. They utilized hemp. And it's a shame, it's a crime that it was taken away from us. CB1 receptors in the brain, the hippocampus, regulate emotions, spatial navigation, and is associated mainly with long-term memory. So important for Alzheimer's, autism, these kinds of things, and the research is bearing it out. Very important that you need to review these studies. Basal ganglia are responsible for involuntary movements like tremors. There's studies on Parkinson's and ALS and other diseases ongoing right now that are showing amazing promise. Amygdala, involved with the processing of memory, emotions, and decision-making. All this important brain activity that we're deficient in these days. Cerebellum regulates motor movement, such as posture, balance, speech, and coordination, building and smooth and balanced muscular activity. In fact, CBD is being shown to upregulate athletic performance and show improved recovery from workout. It's an amazing substance. Spinal cord region, transmission of neural signals between the brain and the rest of the body, including internal organs. And that's where balance of all this illustration is taking place. And CBD is an integral part of that. Next slide, please. Benefits of cannabidiol. Maybe I'm obviously deficient in my cannabidiol. Cannabidiol, or CBD, is one of many cannabinoids that can activate receptors known to moderate inflammation. There it is, huge in the studies. Pain perception and body temperature. CBD can also increase the amount of anandamide, or the bliss molecule, which plays a part in the neural generation of motivation and pleasure. There we go, the motivation molecule. There we go, the runner's high. I was ahead of myself a little bit ago. Is a phenomenon created by the production and release of anandamide as well as endorphins. Both are feel-good neurotransmitters. Only anandamide crosses the blood-brain barrier, thus responsible for the runner's high effect. Again, the brain has receptors. The only receptors it has for something we can get outside our body is for cannabinoids. Human mother's breast milk, there it is also. Cannabinoids, go ahead with it. That's fine. Go to the next slide. Cannabinoid science, the endogenous cannabinoid system. Endogenous means internal. Cannabinoid system, we've got it in our own bodies. In a basic cannabis education are not taught in medical schools today. See right there it is. Only 1 in 7 medical schools in the U.S. even mentions the endogenous cannabinoid system, and they don't give it much. It might be like a day. They say, well, there's that system there, but you don't need to know about it. Much less teach anything about it. To get an education, doctors need to take continuing medical education programs on cannabis and cannabinoid science. I've got some information here on just a few of the doctors that have jumped in and written books on this. Let me see, I wrote their names down. Well, it's on another page. But one of the doctors, Colonel Lewis, an MD, actually was in the Pentagon. He actually was the doctor for the Supreme Court justices. He's written a book about it. He's a pediatrician, actually. But I think this is a Supreme Court justice as a doctor during a period of time, but also a pediatrician. Many noted, and Sanjay Gupta has jumped on the bandwagon. You may have seen him or heard of some of his work. Many noted medical doctors are realizing the time is now to start paying attention and writing material, and the studies are just becoming undeniable. So, cannabinoid science, cannabis education, ECHO, let's say ECHO, helps guide those who are desperate for the therapeutic effects of CBD and cannabinoids. It's too bad we have to be desperate for this, but we should have had it all along. Through a comprehensive approach consisting of education, collaboration, and hope, recognizing that there is strength in numbers, ECHO aims to offer a one-stop shop where those pursuing cannabinoids can seek knowledge and support in a trustworthy and safe environment and connect with doctors that can help. Consistent with the belief that everyone has the right to access the healing properties of cannabinoids, ECHO strives to offer charitable support to ease the burden of families of children with disabilities or special needs. You see, to get the best CBD, it is pricey because you have to do it the right way. You have to use non-toxic extractive process, like carbon dioxide extractive processes, and not use solvents. So many people in the marketplace today are using solvents to extract the CBD, and it leaves behind residues. Also, they aren't. CBD is a toxin accumulator. It will take toxins out of your body. It's been known that hemp has been used for chemical spills and things like this because it absorbs toxins. Well, it also absorbs toxins out of the soil. So it has to be organic, and it's very important, I believe, also to be non-GMO. All of these things that we are And Tom Sr. and Tom Jr. studying this for the past 2 years, narrowing in on how to do it right, and that's why it's so important that we have it. 6 tips for safe CBD use. Americans are turning to this cannabis product, meaning CBD, for its possible health benefits despite little guidance on how to use it. That's a shame, because medicine is just now trying to catch up on how to use it. So people get an ad, they get something in the mail, they see something on the internet, and they get offered a free bottle of it or something. And these are not quality. And you shouldn't take those. You could be doing yourself more harm than good. So it's real important that you can trust who you're getting it from. And there's no one more trusted, in my opinion, than Sizzle International. In recent Consumer Reports National Representative Survey of 1,003 adults, 13% said they had used CBD to treat health issues. Of those, nearly 90% said it helped. That's the amazing thing, and why research is escalating. It's literally exploding. Is the amazing results of the research, how people are greatly benefiting, and it's turning heads. July 2018 study in the journal Cannabis and Cannabinoid Research found that most people who try CBD for health problems learn about it through friends, family, or on the internet, not from their physician. So that's why my reference to the Wild West out here, people just go anywhere to get it. And maybe they shop and want to get the lowest price. Not a good idea. But the delivery system's topical. It does absorb through the skin. Cream, syrups, oils, internal pills, sprays, inhalation tinctures. Up to 90 to 95% of the bioavailability of world products is lost due to digestion. That's why those pills aren't necessarily the best way to take it. Sublingual. That's the way to take CBD. Your body recognizes it immediately, and the mucosa in the mouth, sublingual, it absorbs it instantly in the bloodstream, instantly utilized by your body, and your body will go and release, because it wants this, it needs this, and has needed it your whole life, and you're finally giving it to it. So go ahead, next slide. Sizzle Safe CBD full spectrum, that's so important. That way you have the nearly 500 different compounds that are in the implant, all working with the entourage effect, so that it works right, it works best way, it works in a way your body can recognize, and that you can actually benefit from. Modern big pharma will shoot themselves in the foot by trying to create an isolate, which they're currently doing and have done, because they totally eliminate the entourage effect. They totally eliminate much of the benefit, and it's really sad, but that's just what's happening. Calms the mind from daily stressors, and that's that balancing effect. It helps the brain and the nervous system to optimize. That's that parasympathetic nervous system, calming you, allowing you to function optimally. When you are stressed, your body tries to divert resources from other critical systems in order to cope. That's the sympathetic system that runs most people. Run too long in this mode, and your health and performance can suffer. We know it's the root cause of a lot of today's disease, even inflammation, even cardiovascular, even in the parasympathetic nervous system being downgraded, the lack of hormones, the lack of digestive enzymes contributing to things like autoimmune disease, leaky gut. The cycle is a terrible thing just because of that out of control nervous system. Sizzle Safe CBD full spectrum hemp extract can help calm the mind. That's a big thing. A lot of research is showing that. Some describe its soothing effects as a warm bath from daily stressors, which then allows your body to function more optimally. Next slide, please. Promotes a healthy response to exercise activity. With a body free from mental and physical stress, you can focus your energy on amplifying your exercise routine. You can exercise much better if you're parasympathetic dominant, because when you need that sympathetic to kick in, it kicks in how it should. and you're not worn out by it being overactive. Sizzle Safe CBD full spectrum hemp extract can help your body recover faster from those workouts, there it is, and other physical activities by promoting a healthy, more balanced response. Next slide. Sizzle Safe CBD, my computer screen went, there we go. Sizzle Safe CBD full spectrum hemp extract may help reduce oxidative stress on the brain and nervous system. In fact, it upregulates all kinds of antioxidants, including, as I mentioned, SOD and glutathione. It's amazing, just natural ones in our body. It upregulates them. It also contains antioxidants. It may also support the growth and development of new neurons. I'll add there, it's being shown to support new and support bones. So that, osteoporosis, and a lot of people are concerned about that as you get older, it helps the bones to build and be stronger. And it's all in the research. These aren't medical claims. It's in the research. And I'll cover that when I wrap up, how this is not medical claims, and I'll explain why. Its patent, titled Cannabinoids as Antioxidants and Neuroprotectants, the U.S. federal government makes many impressive claims about CBD, stating that cannabinoids are potent antioxidants. They easily penetrate tissues, giving them the ability to enter the central nervous system and brain, process the blood-brain barrier, because it's meant to be there. Non-psychoactive cannabinoids such as CBD are particularly advantageous as they are non-toxic and exhibit unique antioxidant properties without the undesirable effects of THC. The dosage, I'm talking here, non-toxic and exhibit, these kinds of things. I want to just mention dosage a little bit here. They've tested it up to, they have some research showing up to 700 milligrams being used a day without side effects. Well, the side effects minimal, like, maybe a little sleepy or something because you're so relaxed. But many of the studies were done with from 10 milligrams to 25. So it doesn't take a lot. And some of the ones with children have been done with like 5 to 10 milligrams. So we're not talking a need to really overload your system with this in order for it to benefit. There is a deficiency and your body's going to just soak it up and you're going to benefit from it. And my recommendation would be to go kind of slow. So, maybe use 5 to 10 drops, or maybe even 3 to 5 drops in the beginning, for a few weeks, and then keep adding and going up. And not even necessary to do it every day. People throughout history that actually consumed hemp didn't necessarily consume it every day, just like you wouldn't necessarily consume any particular fruit every day, but you want to include it in your diet. That's the way CBD is naturally. That's the way it has been throughout history. Those people that really want an effect in the really working on something, they tend to do better with more like the 30 to 50 milligram range. So our bottle is 1,500 milligrams. And I actually was familiar with another product on the marketplace that I knew they had really high quality. It's not a company that I really trust at a heart level like Sizzle, but they have a half of that. 750 milligrams in it, so it's a 1 ounce instead of a 2 ounce. Well, 30 mils instead of a 60 mil. And it's $100. So that company, it would cost you $200 for the same supply. I do believe they have good quality, but I definitely trust Sizzle even more. So I know that we have a better access and a more affordable to the highest quality on the market, and that's really important. Acts as a neuroprotective agent against oxidative stress. We've heard a lot about oxidative stress, and CBD is one of the best ways to help control that. And we're under tremendous oxidative stress in our current environment with the toxic environment. Sizzle Safe CBD full spectrum hemp extract may help reduce oxidative stress on the brain and nervous system. It may also support, and these are all compliant statements. I'll get into that at the end. These are all compliant. The studies are proving this out. It may also support the growth and development of new neurons. In its patent, okay, we covered that. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Let me read the last sentence in that slide. The antioxidant strength of CBD is significantly greater than that of either vitamin C or vitamin E. Folks, I think this is the most potent access to an antioxidant that we've ever had in our lifetimes, partly because it upregulates our own internal antioxidants that are made for us. I'll go ahead with the next slide.
Well, Jerry, that is the last slide on the cannabis itself. So I'll let you do the wrap it up here, and then I'll wrap it up after you wrap up your presentation.
I did want to say that we are a marketing force, so we have to be compliant, and that's why those statements on the slides were compliant. They're from corporate, like it could do this and it could do that. We cannot make medical claims, but here's the beauty of it. This is a food. This is a natural substance. This is something found in nature that we know of for at least the last 10,000 years. For as long as this earth has plant life on this earth has existed, it was probably one of the preeminent early plants on this planet. And early civilization realized its importance. Now, did they make medical claims about it? No. They just knew inherently, innately that it was good for them. So one of the things I think that I want to stress at the end of this is the word homeostasis. And that comes across in a lot of the study. If you support homeostasis, that's the word that means, that translates to the balance of all things in your body, whether it's enzymes or hormones or your proper temperature, your proper pH. All of the things, when they're normal and you're in homeostasis, you're well, you're healthy. So that's why it's so important for people, take CBD, even if you are healthy, because it's preventative. Back in time, our ancestors ate hemp. They ate animals that ate hemp. They actually had the hemp as a part of their makeup. Our body is designed to work with cannabinoids. And our brain has receptors for cannabinoids. It's the only substance that's not manufactured in our body, that's inside our very own brains, that recognize the substance. That shows you how important it is for our bodies. And yet it was taken away from us. And finally, thankfully, it's been returned to us. And thankfully, Sizzle International took their time. They didn't just jump into the Wild West and come out with any old CBD. They took their time for the past 2 years to do it right. And we can trust them to do that, and they did it. So I think it was very important that they did this. I think it's a very beneficial thing for us to partake of. But how we market it is it just helps your body to be well. You're not making a medical claim. If somebody approaches you and says, what about my cancer? What will it do for that? Well, it's in the studies. It shows there's an apoptosis effect for cancer. It actually inhibits cancer cells. It actually supports and modulates your immune system, which is so important if you have cancer. But what you can say is, well, I don't know about that. Go look at the studies. It's in PubMed. They can search it out. They can actually go and search hemp and do a specialized, /cancer. So let them do it. Let them see it from the studies. But what you can say is it supports wellness, it supports well-being, it supports homeostasis, which is what our body needs to be healthy and strong and vibrant. And Bill, I could go on and on, and I would, because I'm excited. So I'm going to stop. Save me here, and I just really appreciate being on here. I didn't follow the slides exactly. I apologize regarding that, but it was the excitement just coming through. We have something that I think, it could easily become the lead product in Sizzle very quickly. I believe that.
But Dr. Shore, I can't thank you enough. That was absolutely tremendous. And, your knowledge about this subject is just so incredible. I know I chose the right person, no doubt in my mind. And what was interesting was that as you were going through the slides, you were so knowledgeable on this subject that you went like 3 and 4 slides about the significance of this product. And when I was at the convention, they showed a video that was hosted by Dr. Oz, and he went through an evaluation of all the different CBD oil products that are out there, and they hired an independent laboratory. They hired an independent research lab to test all of these various products, and the results were stunning. None of them had what would be considered a sufficient amount of the CBD oil. Some of them had none. There was no CBD, and some of them that had a label on it, CBD oil. And as you mentioned, there were contaminants found in some of them. We found ethanol. They found E. coli. And so, I have to totally agree with you that when you said that you're glad you waited. I'm glad I waited before getting involved with CBD oil because of the fact that if it's not done right, it can actually do you far more harm than doing you good. So, Tom Mower Jr., who was who did the presentation that you mentioned, he mentioned that this project was going on for 2 years. That he researched this intensely for 2 years, and then they put it all together and did it the right way, with a full spectrum product that's pure. And we're not using foreign grown hemp, we're using it's all American grown hemp here. So it truly is an outstanding product and a great addition to Sizzle's incredible product line. A product line that truly, we have truly spectacular products. In fact, in the words of the founder of Sizzle himself, Tom Mower Sr., the most sensational products that the world has never before seen. Products like our toxin-free personal and home care products. Get the toxins out if you like. Switch over to Sizzle's products instead. The most incredible dental products you'll ever find anywhere. I've had remarkable results in that curve. And so many people seeing things like gum disease, bleeding gums, and gingivitis, and bad breath, and sensitivity to hot and cold foods. All of those things I used to have with my dental issues have all gone, and so many people are seeing the same kinds of results. And then there's our cutting-edge breakthrough nutraceutical products, which started with our Triangle of Life products, the Eternity, the Spectrum Acid, Fucoid, and then Sizzle just about a little over a year and a half ago, they introduced this remarkable product called the Age Pill, based on the latest technology and science, literally space-age technology that they actually are investigating to use this type of supplement on the astronauts who are going to be visiting Mars to protect them from long-term exposure to radiation. Well, they found out that same type of technology can extend people's lives. And so this has become our number one selling product. It's an amazing product. I myself have had incredible results with the Age Pill. You can see from these before and after pictures. The picture on the left there, that's 3 months before the Age Pill came out, and the one on the right is 10 months after being on the Age Pill. Can you see a difference? Everyone who knows me is amazing. The change in what I look like over 10 months. And it's just not just looking younger on the outside, but your brain is working better. You have more energy. My vision has gotten better, as confirmed by my eye doctor, who did. In fact, recently, after I was a year on the Age Pill, I went to see my eye doctor. He did a scan, special eye scan, and he compared it to the one he did 5 years ago, and he was amazed. He said, "There's no aging here." So medical confirmation in my case of the power of the Age Pill. In fact, we invite you to listen to what people on the Age Pill are saying. Call into our Age Pill recorded testimonial hotline, and that's area code 559-670-1914. Again, 559-670-1914. And you're going to hear some amazing testimonials. There's over 150 testimonials on that line. Then our Sizzle H26, another really exciting product that was introduced just recently. Experience the power of it and the many exceptional health benefits of water that's enriched with molecular hydrogen and oxygen. Just some of the benefits, like the stimulant-free oxygenated water that's infused with diatomic hydrogen. It supports cell health, helps address oxidative stress by neutralizing free radicals, provides support for increased cellular energy, and also helps with strong rapid support for recovery after exercise. Another really remarkable product. Folks, we are in wild momentum right now. We're at a breakout point. We have a tremendous opportunity here for people to come on board with us and be a part of a company that is on track, literally on track to set a new record for wealth creation in the home business industry. Indeed, in the next 10 to 15 years, tens of thousands of new millionaires will be created here. And everyone watching this presentation right now live or watching the recording, each and every one of you have the opportunity to join this amazing health and wealth creation revolution that's taking place here at Sizzle International. invited you to this webinar, and